Before we introduce our speaker, I want to say a few things. First, I want to welcome Bruce Hilligeist here. Bruce is Mr. Tomball, president of the chamber. Thank you, Bruce. We were just saying, if I text him, he doesn't answer. But if my wife texts him, he answers right away. So that tells you something. Okay, I'd like to recognize any veterans here today. Do we have veterans here today? Please stand. Thank you, thank you, thank you. First-time visitors. I know we have some first-timers here today. Thank you for coming. And of course, Mel's Cafe for feeding us. Thank you so much, Jeff. And our phenomenal videographer, Janetta. Thank you, thank you. So we know our luncheons are the second Tuesdays of every month here in this room, almost every year. A couple times we have to change it when the spring break comes. We don't charge for meals, but we would appreciate if anybody would feel led to leave a donation. We have bowls on the table to help defray the cost of the meals. And sponsorships are available also. It's $200 for sponsors for our luncheon. Our future speakers. Next month is going to be something we've never done before. We're going to have a student panel. We have three students from Lone Star and one student that graduated. She's now a lawyer. And so they're going to talk about what it's like to be a Christian student in today's world. Not easy, for sure. And then in August, Mr. Gary Kubiak will be here. And I'm sure that wall is going to come down, and we did it in the summertime so we could have kids come. I know 3 of my grandkids are already saying they get it on the calendar to come. He's going to be great. He just had rotator cuff surgery, and so he's recovering, so say a prayer for Gary if you would. In September, the president of Lone Star College Tomball, Leanne Nutt, is going to speak. She's going to talk about her new program that she has for students. It's an amazing program. So she'll be doing that in September. In October, we're going to have a mission spotlight. Again, the first time we've done that. Instead of having a pastor's appreciation luncheon, we're going to do a mission spotlight with a local organization. And then in November, Alexandra Mailer will be speaking. And then, of course, in December, we have the Concordia Choir come and speak to us. So, I would like to introduce our speaker. Finally, well, Kelly's been sitting there waiting here. Kelly is the founder of the nonprofit Lighthouse for Students. She's dedicated to creating opportunities for inner city and at-risk youth. Youth is her passion. As she describes it, after stepping out of fear and into service, she works with kids to discover their potential and build brighter futures. Kelly focuses on the next generation with hands-on mentorship and innovative programming to make a meaningful difference in young lives. She lives here in Tomball with her husband. She has 2 kids in college, and it's my pleasure to welcome Kelly Martens.
If you don't mind, I would like to show a video first because it just really kind of explains where we were, and then hopefully I can show you one, if we have time, of where we are now.
Well, crime is a daily occurrence in the historic Sunnyside neighborhood. In fact, just last night, 2 Houston
months after a man was shot, another woman was injured.
At 6:02 now to breaking news, a 17-year-old is dead.
5 people wounded in a drive-by shooting.
These young guys are talented. I see them playing hoops, but I don't believe that they believe that they're ever going to get out of Sunnyside.
You're the God of this city. You're the King of this people. You're the Lord of this nation. You are. You're the light in this darkness. You're the hope to the hopeless. You're the peace to the restless. You a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me.
I know that's a little bit long, but it really shows the students that we work with in Sunnyside. Does anyone here know where Sunnyside is? Okay. So just a little background, why I call this stepping out of fear into service. When I married my husband, I was really just starting my walk with Jesus, and he was already on board with Jesus. He'd been there for years, missionary parents, traveled the world. He was there. I was just getting on the Jesus train. So anyway, so at that time in my life, I was scared to do anything. I wasn't leaving this country. I wasn't leaving Tomball or Houston. I'd already made it clear, he lived in Austin, that if he moved here and we didn't ever leave and I could stay with my family, I would tell people about Jesus right here. I thought it was a good deal. So we all said okay. So move forward just a few years. I was at a tea room. I was on PTO at my kids' schools. Thought I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. I see Beth Moore come in. I was the only one at the table who knew her. And I thought, wow, okay. So my husband said, well, I guess you know what you have to do. So we started Bible study, ladies in the house. I had a blast. I was having a blast, totally in my comfort zone. A few years later, fast forward, we're at church, and there were some things my daughter was missing that she wanted to do that she wasn't getting. So I said, well, why don't we just have all your girlfriends over on Sundays? This was 5th grade. And we'll just do it here. Again, thinking, cha-ching, I'm doing what I said I'd do. Great, moving along. And I'll never forget it like it was yesterday. I don't know if any of you have ever had this moment where you knew the Lord was speaking right to you and there was no saying no. I was laying on the couch, 2 p.m, bored out of my mind. Kids were in school. And I was thinking, there's got to be more to life than this. You know, this is not fulfilling. And that night, a friend of mine from Concordia Lutheran posted an article, and it was about Worthing High School in Concordia. Concordia had beat them significantly. And it said, don't judge these boys by the score. Look where they come from. Well, they come from Sunnyside. So I didn't think anything of it. Well, the next day I heard the Lord say, go back to the article. I don't even know why. My kids weren't at Concordia. I don't even know why I'm going back to find this article. I go back and I read it, and I heard him say to me clearly in my head as I ever have, this is where you'll go and this is where you'll trust me. It's the most dangerous neighborhood in the state of Texas, and it's the second most dangerous neighborhood in the nation. I cried, literally cried. I said, he's going to have me killed. Like, he's taking me off to kill me. Like, all I could think was, why would you do this to me? And I didn't know anyone there. I mapped it. It's 36 miles. That's where my verse comes from. They're all, y'all know Jesus Christ. And I started there 2016, and I'll be there tomorrow. I'm there every week. And these kids that you see on these videos are the kids that we work with. And as I'm watching that video, I realized 3 of them are no longer with us. They've been murdered. They've been killed. And actually, the picture you saw with the tree we're planting is one of our students out of 15 murdered another one of our students that year, 6th grade. And so it has been my mission and my heart is to let everyone know Sunnyside is there. Sunnyside is 36 miles from my house in Tomball. And those kids are smart. They're talented. They have dreams. I mean, they have, just like my kids did, they have all the desires that you can imagine every other kid have, but where they live hinders their ability to be who they want to be. So our curriculum is called I Am Worthy. And Laura Gallier, who was here a few months ago, she wrote the curriculum for us. She's on the board of Lighthouse. And what we do is we walk through these affirmations and we talk to the kids about their value and their worth. And I do have a short video I'll show you at the end. But going back to stepping out of fear in the service, the first time I went to Sunnyside, my kids were 5th and 6th grade. My daughter was crying. I was crying. So why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? But I did it. And when I got there, all I could think was, oh, this isn't so bad. This isn't so bad. And I didn't get shot when I pulled into the neighborhood. And I encourage anyone who lives in any kind of fear or doesn't trust God in any way, what I've learned from this is stepping out of my fear and into trust and to serving God. I have never been closer to God as I ever have been since I've done this. I depend on him every week. I've been in there in the evenings. I pick kids up from their apartments. I take food to apartments. I mean, I'm in Sunnyside up to my neck. I love that place. I could be there every day. And we are now in 4 schools. We are no longer at the school you saw here, Worthing. We were asked last year to leave because we prayed with some students at lunch. We had been there 9 years. And it's okay because I fully am aware that God took us in his name and he had us to leave in his name. And I trust that there was a reason for it, and I'm fine with it. It's okay. But we are now in both their elementaries and both their middle schools and doing our programs, and we provide the pantries, and it is a food desert. If anyone knows what a food desert is, they have no access to grocery stores. So we bring the pantry food into the schools and provide it in that way. We provide guest speakers that come from maybe a similar background that have struggled or made bad choices and then made good choices that come to know Jesus. We bring people in to speak to them that can relate to them, talk about the choices you make and the consequences that come with those. I'm trying to think of some of the guys y'all might know. Y'all know Mike Singletary, Baylor football? So he's from Worthing High School. And I had him last year come out with me, and we went back through the high school and walked him around and showed him and to the junior high. And he said the junior high locker room hasn't changed even the paint. Now, I mean, he's in his 60s. If that shows you any idea what these kids go to school in. When we went to Worthing High School the first time, we had to be escorted to the restroom. So by that I mean, check in, I have to go potty, I just drove an hour. Let me walk you over, unlock it, wait it outside the door for me, walk me back to the office. You wouldn't even want to lean up against the walls of the building because of the gum and muck on the walls. I literally cried when I got in the car, and I had Laura with me and some others, and I said, how is this happening to these kids? And this is the environment that they learn in. Well, they did build them a new school, so that school that you're seeing is the new school that they built them, I think 2 years after we were there, maybe 1 year. Might have been 1 year after we were there. They got a new school. So it looks good, but it's still the same people, it's still the same environment. And they're trying. I'm not criticizing the school, they're trying. But when you send kids to school and they're going to get breakfast and lunch, so they're coming to school when they want, right? And when they want to come to school. And then you send them back. It's the largest area of town for what they call homeless students. meaning not with mom and dad or mom or dad. So they could be living, we call it couch surfing because most of our kids just couch surf. And so they go back to that environment and then they come to school. Teachers' hands, they can only do so much, right? They educate, they can't do everything. And then they go back again that night to the same environment. It's tragic in every way imaginable, but the stepping out of fear in the service I go back to is I was so scared to go there. I would have missed this whole opportunity of the last 9 years of God letting me know that, if I just obey him, he's going to protect me, number one. But I was going to miss out on these kids that I have come to love. I mean, I'm still in contact with several kids that graduated the first year we were there. We give scholarships. We help kids get jobs. I have 2 kids right now that have been promoted in the Harris County Toll Road for the Harris County Toll Road Authority. We have students that we're helping when they have children. We help them with their babies and teach them, life skills as best as we can. But most importantly, we are consistent with these kids. We love these kids, and we tell them they have value because that's where they, like all of us, right? It doesn't matter where we're from. We want to have value, and they want to know they are worthy of something. So that's what we focus on. Does anybody have any questions? No, that's what I was about to say. When we got there the very first time I asked, being on PTO in public schools around here in Tomball, I mean, y'all probably know, we treat teachers wonderfully, right? We're always bringing. So we brought stuff. They didn't have anywhere for me to put it because they didn't have a PTO and they never had anybody bring anything. So they put us in this room in the back and we set up some snacks, and we just realized that these teachers, boy, they don't get anything. They don't get a snack from anybody. They don't get treats from parents. I mean, and again, I don't want to ridicule because it's not that people can't. It's not that they don't want to do it. They don't know, and they don't have the means to do it. So we do that. That's part of the other thing we do in the schools. Is in fact, last Wednesday I took Chick-fil-A sandwiches to one of our schools, and this next week we're taking another school the Chick-fil-A sandwiches. So we do that for the teachers twice a year. So I think you saw a video of us serving food to the staff at one of the schools.
Was it the administration at the school or through that where you asked to leave?
I'm really not sure. I mean, we have an idea what it was. I think there's really more to it than that, honestly. Again, there were no organizations in the school. We were the only ones. The only people that came into that school. I brought in, and another way God used me is I brought in several different organizations through bringing in speakers and then asking them to join us. And we started different programs through other organizations while we were there. I don't know who's there. It was really hard when it happened because it was the week of our gala last year. We had Tim Tebow coming. And it happened 2 days before that. So I tried not to focus on what was going on. I really said, if I trust God to take me and to keep me safe there, I have to trust him when in his name I was told to leave. And that's just the way I did it. I tried not to fight or argue it out because I thought there might be a reason God said, move along. I've had you here 9 years and you've done a great thing. It's time to move. So. Anybody else have anything?
What's the best way we can support you?
So obviously finances is good. Money's good because we need to buy things for the staff. But our biggest help that we need right now is we need people willing to go into the schools. And now we are also in 9 Klein schools. So we have 14 schools total right now, and we're in the shelter that connects to Star of Hope. It's called New Hope Housing in Sunnyside. So we're in that shelter also. Boots on the ground, volunteers is huge. That's where we really need help. But obviously, donations always help us do what we're doing. So things like, we're online at lighthouseforstudents.org.
So that's how we get registered to help? Or
Yes, there is a background check we request anyone to do that wants to go to our schools, and there's a volunteer form to fill out. At the shelter, I would share some stuff with you. I don't have them on here because for their protection, we don't like to advertise the women that we're working with, but it is a women's Bible study that we're doing on Tuesdays. And these women, y'all, we do crafts and they do lessons, and they are just so sweet. And when given the opportunity, that I would love to share with you, the opportunity. But given the opportunity to allow someone to talk about their life and to hear someone who can tell you how to make it better, that you have a choice to make, right? It doesn't matter where you live. You have a choice to make. And that's what we tell these kids. No one can take that from you. They can't take your choice. They can't take your decisions, what you're going to do. When Harvey came through, as you know, the Champions Forest area got hit pretty hard. So one of our boys who you saw in here, at one of the camp photo, he was baptized. We send kids to camp. He got baptized at camp. And he called me and he said, Miss Kelly, our area didn't get hit very hard, but I saw that your area did. So we're wondering if we can come help your area. And I was like, wow, okay. So he brought the basketball team over, and they gutted houses all day. So I know this is what God made me do with my big mouth. I said, we need to get the news out here, because Sunnyside, if you see Sunnyside on the news, it's always negative. They don't talk about anything good going on in Sunnyside. When you see Southside murders, it's always Sunnyside. That's why it's ranked most dangerous neighborhood in the state of Texas. So this young man brought the team out. They gutted all day. We called the news station and said, we'd love for you to do a story on good coming out of Sunnyside. And that was the clip. You saw a picture of it, but we do have a news story from NBC came out and did a whole thing on those kids. When Beyonce saw it, so she went and met with the kids. So it turned out to be a wonderful thing for those boys. But it was another lesson for me, right? You invest and you teach them. They want to invest. They were looking for an opportunity to help us. It just comes back full circle. So anyway, that's my stepping out of fear into service. I still don't know if I'm traveling. No, I would go somewhere now in a heartbeat, because now I trust the Lord. I trust him when he tells me. You couldn't have got me out of here, though, 22 years ago. Anybody else have any questions?
I would love for you to share, if you can, what some of the students have said to you, how the curriculum, I Am Worthy, or you being in the schools has changed their lives.
Okay.
What do they verbally say?
Let me show you, that's the video. Let me show you this quick 2-minute video, and then we'll go back. Because this is, the one you saw before was kind of why we started. This one is this one was just done this year.
Where you can express yourself and talk about your feelings to somebody. So, I like Lighthouse because we learn about a lot of things and educational things in Lighthouse, and we learn about to make wise choices and everything what we need to know, and I'm just super grateful to be in here.
Lighthouse to me is a fun place to make friends and do fun things.
It's like your safe place, where you can find people who like you for who you are. Yeah. I love that I get to meet all my friends and have a nice time and learn new things.
What I learned at Lighthouse was how to be thankful.
My favorite thing that I've learned here so far is the word worthy, because I know that I am worthy and capable of other things. And then one thing I've learned at Lighthouse is I can make wise choices. In Lighthouse, I have learned that I am worthy. I am intelligent and capable of learning. I am capable, determined problem solver. I am capable of making wise choices. I am capable of self-control. I am meant to be, and my life matters. I'm worthy of love.
So that's one of the elementary schools. And so when you see that, right, I mean, you'll do anything. I mean, when you realize that you're just investing in a small part of somebody's life. And I have people say to me, how do you do this? Because we get the negative too, right? I've got plenty of kids that are using me, as you want to, if you want to say that, although they're not, because I know what they're doing. But for all that, for all the negative, we have the ones who have changed the whole trajectory of their lives, and where they call me and they tell me they got promoted, or they call me and say they passed their college classes, or they've got a job in welding that we bought all the welding gear for. They wouldn't have been able to do if we hadn't bought the welding gear. You can change the life of one kid and the trajectory that they're on. You change a generation, a whole generation. And I know we're not going to change an entire neighborhood, but that's not the goal. The goal is to change as many lives as we can, and not just in Sunnyside, but now, like I said, we're in Klein, and Spring Klein, HISD, and then the women's shelter. So that's where we are. Any more questions?
How many elementary versus high schools are you in? Because I know working with the younger children, but then they'll transition into high school where there's more peer pressure. Do you have a continuing program that goes to elementary?
Yes, so in Sunnyside, we have all the elementaries and all the middle schools. We don't have the high school anymore. So that's the only thing we're missing there. In Klein, we are in, the only high school we're in Klein is Klein Forest High School. We've been there 8 years. But we're in Wonderlick that feeds into Klein Forest, and we're in the elementaries that feed into Wonderlick. So yes, we are trying to keep I don't have the volunteers. I turn schools down away every week. I've got schools that have contacted me for 2 years saying, well, do you have volunteers? And I'm like, no. I could be in every school in Klein probably if I had enough people to do it. So that is probably my biggest need if somebody asks. It's the people. It's hard. People, I mean, I understand. It's hard to dedicate, but it's just once a week and it's an hour, so. Anybody else have it? Lighthouseforstudents.org. The website, she asked about the website. Anybody else have any other questions? Anything else? Okay, I think we're done.